For the bullet seating and crimp die. Get started. In this case, we do not have a finished round, so we insert the case from the station 3 earlier. Tighten the die down until it makes contact with that case. Tighten the nut. This is assuming that you're going to crimp with the factory crimp die. If you're going to crimp with this die, you'd have to adjust this die downward, and you do that after you place the bullet. Place the bullet, guide it up into the die, hold the handle down. As you screw the bullet seater down, you'll feel it start to get tight. Make sure you hold your handle down when you do this. It's obviously too long now, so what you do is you tighten that knob just a little bit, go up and back down, up and down. Tighten that knob just a little bit at a time, so you're barely moving that bullet down. When you start getting closer, you pull this out and check it with your calipers or micrometers. Just keep doing that until you get it right. And once you get it right, then you can go ahead and when we get the factory crimp die set up, we'll crimp this, and that way you'll have a finished round. I always try to make a finished round with no primer and no powder, so the next time I have a finished round to make this a lot easier, so I don't have to go through all. Station 5, the factory crimp die. Make sure, run the handle down. Run the handle down all the way. Run this down to shell plate contact. Tighten your nut. Put the finished round, or the round that you did in station 4, run up into the die. Run this down until you make contact. I make a mark here so that I can tell you want to go another half turn. That's it. Should be ready to go now. Fill the primer tray up. Shake them back and forth so get them all facing the right direction. If there's one or two, you can just turn those. Put the lid in place and turn it to lock it. Usually if you just do this, you might lose one or two primers. No big deal. You put those back in the tray for next time. Place it on the trough and shake them to make sure the primers go down in the trough. If you need to dump your primers out for any reason, take this nut off, put a case in station 1, pull that right up. Set it aside. Pull your case retainer in for station 2. Remove this. And just slide it down like that, and all the primers go back into the tray where they belong. Now we'll install the powder measure. Put it on. Make sure that, let's see, you want this lever to be directly above this hole inside the carrier, because that's where your chain's going to go. Remove the hopper by removing these two screws. Now you want to pick the disc using your tables. The disc that you want to use for your powder drop, in this case is .61. You put this slot right over that. You put this slot right over that tab. Wiggle it back and forth, make sure it's on there right. Make sure the lever operates it, but it doesn't move otherwise. Replace the hopper. When you reinstall the bin, put it with the flat side over the drop tube so you have a clear view of the drop tube. Hopper with powder. Hold the case up in the bottom of it and cycle the powder measure. Dump that back in the hopper. Do that a couple times to make sure you got your powder measure going. And see what the charge is going to look like in the case. Put the end piece in the spring on your chain. Run your chain up to this hole. Have you carry it all the way down. Run your chain to this outer hole on the powder lever. Pull it tight. Then raise the carrier just enough to make that click one more time. That holds the chain tight. If you get that too tight, you break the chain. If you don't have it tight enough, it won't reset your powder measure, which could be dangerous. Run the chain through the other hole and then pull and push it through there till it pops. That's all there is to setting it up. Now when you're done, the easiest way to dump the powder back into your measure, just unhook this chain, remove the turret, and dump it back. And when you get the powder measure empty, put that die over the container and cycle it a couple times to get rid of the residue powder that's inside the disc. Make sure you put a lid on, especially if you're using a case feeder, because cases can fall down in there and cause problems. I use a lid off of a spray paint can.